Hi everyone, Animal Girl here, back with another edition of TV Talk. It's Monday, and that means it's Gargoyles Day. And this week's episode was Awakening, Part 3. The Gargoyles explore their new home/world and make a new friend. However, they're soon to learn that this new century may be just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than the one they previously lived in. Okay, things I liked about this episode. First off, I loved the story. Now, please keep in mind, this is the third of a 5-part arc. So you're going to have 2 more videos of me saying I love the story, at least. Probably more, since Gargoyles is one of my favorite TV shows. But this episode in and of itself, just take this episode, the storyline in this episode, and this was actually a really good story. We were introduced to Elisa in the first episode. This is the first episode where she and the Gargoyles actually meet. So we actually have interaction between her and the Gargoyles, direct interaction between them. We also learn her first name in this episode, as she's actually in this episode, as in the first episode, she's referred to as Detective Maza. She actually introduces herself to the Gargoyles as Elisa Maza. So we learn her first name in this episode. Now, Elisa is going to be a very important character throughout the series. She is one of the very few humans that has direct interactions with the Gargoyles. And she's also one of the few humans that knows their secrets. Now, in this season, there's going to be, I think, about 10 human characters, recurring human characters that are given names that will have direct interactions with the Gargoyles, and know their secrets. By season 2, I think they're going to up that to 10, but we'll talk more about that later. Some of them will be friends, some of them will be foes, some of them will start out as friends and become foes, some of them will start out as a foe and become friends. So it's ever-changing, but Elisa is going to be a constant. Elisa, Owen, and Xanatos, for right now, are going to be the 3 constants that we see interacting with the Gargoyles. And, obviously, since they gave them names, they'd be important characters. And she plays an important role in the Gargoyles' lives. I don't want to get too much into it, but she does teach them a lot about trust and about this new world they're living in. Secondly, I loved the plot line. Again, this is the third part of a 5-part arc, but I felt they did a wonderful job of dividing what was originally a movie up into 5 parts. So we have it's easy to see where, if they didn't have the introduction, the opening credits, the ending credits, the last time, where everything would flow together. If you took those parts out, you can see, okay, this is where it flows together. It makes sense. Another thing I like about this episode is that this is the first time we're seeing the Gargoyles actually make themselves individuals among the clan. Now, it only happens once so far. It'll happen again in the next episode. But we have one of the Gargoyles, and if you watched the very first episode, you know that Goliath is the only one that actually has a name, because that's just not their way. They don't give each other names, because they look different. You would think even now, they wouldn't need to really do that because they all look different from each other anyways. But they do decide to give themselves names, and only one of them does it so far right now, and that's the older one. He chooses the name Hudson. Actually, how they do it is really funny, and this isn't really much of a spoiler. He goes to, basically make sure Goliath is going to be okay the following night, and he and Elisa get to talking because she wants to know what she should call him. And he says something about how humans have to name everything, and does the sky have a name? Does the river? And Elisa basically says that the river is the Hudson. He basically says, all right, I'll be the Hudson as well. So he basically names himself Hudson. Which I kind of like. I think Hudson really fits him, as Henry Hudson was an explorer and everything. And I mean, I don't know too much about Henry Hudson other than that the college and the river are named after him, but and now the gargoyle. I do feel that for the older gargoyle, Hudson definitely fits him as a name. I don't know if the writers just picked names for them, or if they thought about their personalities and whatnot and gave them names that fit them, but I feel Hudson really fits Hudson as a name. Or the older gargoyle as his name. Lastly, I loved the characters. As I stated before, I mean, the gargoyles, they are so different from each other, even now that there's only 6 of them. But the design of them is just so unique. We'll get more into the design next week, or in the next video when the others have their names as well, so I'm not giving away too much of a spoiler. But I really, really do love the designs that they came up with, the gargoyles, and they went to painstaking detail to make each one different from each other. But like I said, we'll get into that in the next video. Okay, things I didn't like about this episode. There wasn't a lot I didn't like about this episode. They're dropping hints to where they're leading up to something for the arc finale. But that in of itself, since they're subtle hints, if you haven't seen the episode or seen the series all the way through before, or even just seen this arc all the way through before, you're not going to really pick up on them. Well, you might, but you might not. Even though it's subtle, some of them are subtle, some of them aren't subtle. It's still good. Like I said, they're building to it. This is a 5-part arc. We have 4 more parts to get through with this arc before we get into other episodes. Please keep in mind, this was a very short season. I think it was only 13 episodes long. Season 2 was much, much longer, covering 2 discs. Well, 2 set of discs. I think 6 DVDs total. This, we are getting this, losing my train of thought here. Basically nothing I didn't like about it. This arc is amazing. It's really the only one that's 5 parts. I think the longest after this one is 4. But still really good at setting up the series very, very well. Okay, feel free to check out my other TV Talk videos on Gargoyles. Feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. Please like and share this video if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and DeviantArt. I do have my name for those 5 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing, and I will have the link for those sites in the description section as well. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Okay, feel free to check out my other TV Talk videos. and my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, a couple of things I'd like to touch on. First off, and this is for my YouTube subscribers, any of my videos that are not on YouTube are on Facebook, or on my Facebook page. I will have the link to this in the description section. This one is for my Facebook friends. Any of my videos that are not on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. The link will be in the description section. I will also be posting the links for all my YouTube videos to Facebook. If you find it easier to view them that way. If you're having any problems viewing them through the links, please let me know, okay? As always, thank you for watching, and have a very nice day.